A lot of times judges will say, I don't even think they read the role play. Well, if you do a little recap at the beginning, okay, as you know, Automotive Benefits Club is what we're working on today, getting new members and whatever the role play is about. That's a good start. Here we go. When you are ready to compete on Saturday, it's exactly like this. You have time to read your story, try your best coming up with your solutions, then you're going to wait in line just like this, and you're going to be presenting to a judge. So here we go. Team number one. We're going to have you go. Nice strong introduction, handshake, confidence, smile. It's real important, that first impression. And we'll have you go with the man in the blue shirt right over there. Next.
Looking for as far as market segmentation, where we can go with ourselves, how we're going to present ourselves, how we're actually going to push forward our services.
So I don't know about you, but is to come up with a brochure service. Now I've come up with a mixed.
Okay, what's happening right now, the students are practicing. They're actually doing Deca. It's, of course, a still practice night, and behind us we've got the students. They are giving their ideas. They're working on presenting ideas on a role play to a real judge. And going through that practice will help them when we compete at the district level.
Kind of like credit card companies do, where they'll have the 0% APR for however many months.
Elements that we provide and the products that we provide are the towing up to 50 miles, the cars, and changing flat tires.
We'll be looking forward to that because as a parent, I know a lot of people would be concerned.
What's happening in this group behind me is that the judge is now giving the competitors some feedback on how they did, giving them some tips so that on Saturday at our competition they are ready to improve and dominate their event.
That was awesome. The application for the phones, that was great. But the technology now, that's what we need to look at. We need to focus on that. We need to go for that and hit hard on that because it's becoming a technological world. We're becoming so advanced, and it's awesome to do.
So if you're like nervous and coming up to the judge, an easy way to make yourself not nervous is we never started off with like, can I sit down and can I start right away? We started off like, how you doing today, and like do an easy conversation at first, and that helps you a lot because that's something that's not really hard to talk about. It breaks the ice. And
you can't read off your card, you can't read off your paper. Write down points. I know if you guys have taken speech classes, write down your points, do that, look in the eye.
If you're nervous and you have a note card, don't play with the note card. If you have to, put it on the table.
They had a student come in, had their pen, and they were clicking their whole pen the whole time they were talking. And the judge was so fixated on the guy clicking his pen, he wasn't even listening to the competitor. Like, put the pen down.
Tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them what you told them. So it's kind of like your little 5-paragraph essay, but it's just keeping all your points right at the end so the judges know like exactly what you talked about.
And also, creativity is the key player here. You have to make the judges remember you to give them ideas that are really going to wow them.
I agree you have to be creative in everything and set yourself apart, but you still need to say those obvious things just so you cover the whole spectrum. Second thing, kind of specific to a role play like this, and this one's a really good example of it. When you're going into a role play where you're, the person is technically your boss, at the end of the role play, what is usually effective to do is say something like, you know, Mr. Smith, I know that I've given you a lot of ideas and presented a lot of information. I want to give you some time to think about it. I've taken the liberty of setting up a meeting with your assistant for next Wednesday, but do you have any questions for me at this time?
I've heard that done. A lot of good competitors will say, either I've taken the liberty to set up a meeting with us next Wednesday, or would you like to set up a meeting next Wednesday where we can further discuss these ideas?
When you're in a dialogue with someone, it really should be a dialogue. And you might get thrown for a question that you weren't fully prepared for, or wasn't in your initial pitch. It's okay, you should respond, and you should respond with a response with some content, but it's okay to have some vulnerability that isn't fully fleshed out. But here's how we intend to flesh that out. Or it shows some vulnerability. You don't have to have all of the answers.
Someone, especially me, like who's not really comfortable just having a conversation with someone and needs those reference points, what I'd recommend is something that I found really useful is turning your note card into an agenda. And then you're using it as a resource for yourself, but more importantly, it's taking that resource for yourself and making it a resource for the judge as well. Because at the end of the role play, you leave your cards, your note cards with the judge. So if you take your card, you write your agenda on it, and you're referencing it throughout the role play, after you leave and they're judging you, they have the agenda of every single thing you talked about, and if you talked about those specific words from the performance indicators, you're going to get the points.
Oh, nice. I like that. Yeah, you do have to leave your stuff with you with the judge. That's cool, your note cards.
Appearance is definitely something that you are judged on, not necessarily on paper, but the judges definitely take it into consideration. And like, there are only 2 girls here, but if you girls know that you are like nervous hair players, like if you're talking and you're nervous and you're going like this, that's a distraction and it's not professional. So pull your hair back. In your professional work life, you don't want to wear uncomfortable things to work, so wear something that you can be comfortable in. It's
awesome
one less thing
advice.
you have to worry about. You are judged on performance indicators, so if you write those down on your paper, not necessarily what you're going to talk about them, but if you write down the like category titles that you're being judged on, and then if you pull the important things out of the little description that they give you, like say the judge in your role play is like your boss, they usually give you a name, so write down their name, and then maybe write down the company that you're supposed to be working for or whatever, so that you can pull those like random little facts in there, because like if you write those little things down, you can bring that into your role play, and it just shows your judge that you know what you're talking about.
Definitely confidence is key. Like, you may have no idea what you're talking about, but just pretend like you know what you're talking about and you'll probably do fine.
Okay, assistants, could you give out the first award? Congratulations.
And then
If you take your test score and your role play together, the overall winner is
Joe Matheson.
Yay, and because he would have the test score, so he would get it individually. Nice job. So that's it. That's a run through of what Deca is. That was a practice, and we're getting ready to compete at districts. Hopefully we do a good job.